Is it okay in the short term to have a recession?
This. Look, everything's okay. What we are, I said, this is a transition period.
Are you worried about a recession?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, Senate Republicans are growing increasingly nervous about the potential effects of Trump's trade war after he suggested that some of his tariffs could be permanent. West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito told The Hill he was elected on the economy. He's a deal maker in the economy space, so he has big expectations of himself. But America, we don't necessarily have a lot of tolerance for pain. Meanwhile, Trump is growing frustrated with reporters asking when to expect major trade deals to be secured after the president previously boasted about how our trade partners were, quote, dying to make a deal. But in a sign he may be aware of Republicans' anxiety, he's also suggesting that he would be willing to lower tariffs on China to 80%. From 145%, to be clear. Joining us now to discuss is former senior spokesperson and advisor for the Harris campaign, Adrian Elrod, and founder of Principles First, Heath Mayo. Adrian Heath, welcome to the show. Okay, I just want to apologize for my stunned silence when we came out of that sound.
Shook, as the kids
Yes,
call it.
that's exactly it. I was shooketh. The tariffs on China, 145%. He says he's going to bring them down to 80%. What the entire hell is going on here?
You know, I think he's hit a whoopsie moment. He touched the hot stove and he realized it was hot. I mean, aside from the fact that it just doesn't even make any sense to put a lot of pressure on all of your allies when the focus has been China, I mean, this is really going to hit just the basic necessities for a lot of American families. You look at strollers and car seats. I think we get something like 97% of our car seats from China. This is going to mean significant increases for young American families. We just had our first in December.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The Upper Baby Vista I saw yesterday is like up $300.
It's not cheap.
It's like now $1,200. I mean, so this is not just like iPhones, computers, TVs. This is like the basic necessities. So new families that are just starting out, $300, that's a lot of money. People are going to be mad. That's a large part of American voters. This administration has said they want to be pro-family, but this is going to crush them.
And politically, it seems like it's a bad idea. When you look at, Adrian, Donald Trump's ability in the past to speak to people's fears and what they're scared of, he's usually pretty good at it, right? He's usually pretty good at he's usually pretty good at reading the room and saying, yeah, you should be scared about that. We're going to fix it. In that interview with Welker, that's not what he was doing whatsoever, right? And so talk a little bit about how he might be making some of the mistakes that Joe Biden made, which is not fully, at least publicly, understanding how people are feeling about the economy and how that is more important than anything else.
Well, for a couple of things. First of all, he made it very clear on the campaign trail that he was going to enact and impose tariffs and raise tariffs. And that was something that we tried to warn the American people. We made it very clear if he does this, it's a tax on American families. A tariff equals a tax on American families. What he has not done so far in this administration is, yes, he's gone forward with the tariffs, but he hasn't actually explained to the American people effectively how it's going to work, how he thinks it's going to lower their costs in the long run. He hasn't explained that.
Trust me, it's kind of where he's at.
Trust me, which, and by the way, Rule 101, whether you're working on a campaign, in the White House, an agency, wherever you are, is to make sure that you have, when you're rolling out a message, when you're rolling out a new policy, you have surrogates out there. You've got administration officials out there validating you. In the sense of tariffs, if he just had a couple of CEOs that were going out and saying, you know what, we were briefed on this plan, here's how we think it's going to be okay, maybe that would have blunted some of the market chaos, but he didn't do that.
Because the plan changed everything.
Because it doesn't have a plan is the bottom line. Right. So very ineffective strategy, to your point. I mean, he tried to talk about America first and Americans family first. He's just going to raise costs on American families. Chaos ensues, and it's not a good strategy for especially people who want to try to retire in the next, 1 to 2 years.
But you're a conservative. You worked in Republican circles. I believe now you don't consider yourself a Republican.
That's right.
Yes, but the economic Republicans who turn out reliably and vote. And they may disagree with other parts of the platform, but they like Republicans in control of the economy. What is happening right now to that voter and to so many of the members on the Hill, which I really can't believe they still are keeping their mouths shut as Trump is basically decimating the American economy and the free market.
Yeah, I mean, the voter is, I mean, the Republican primary voter is sort of, I think, it's sort of still in lockstep with Trump to some degree. I mean, there's this gravitational pull that he has politically over the party, and he's surrounded himself with yes men that make it difficult to erode that support. But the minute that mom, dad, families go to start to buy these basic necessities and they realize that, hey, why am I paying $400 more for a stroller? People are going to start to get frustrated.
Especially
and I think
when he promised him that wasn't going to be
right. And to your point, when he's not able to explain it effectively, like, what are we getting out of this? People, if they're sitting at home, they're going to start to get pissed off about this because the only reason, there's no reason this is happening other than the fact that the president and the yes men that he has surrounded himself with just simply don't understand basic economics.
Yeah, like,
it's not just trust us. I mean, you have the president saying in that interview with Kristen Welker, oh, well, there'll be short-term pain. Like, you have to... Yeah, I mean, it's going to hurt in the short term, but in the long term, trust us, it'll be fine. But I remember if a Democrat had said that, don't worry, you know, it's going to hurt in the short term, they would have been blasted as being out of touch. They're out of it. The American people hate it. And yet this guy gets away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, he's asking Americans to sacrifice. And I mean, we've asked Americans to sacrifice before. Americans can sacrifice.
Yeah, like
during wars, if we have a good reason, but not just because Trump woke up this morning and tweeted and had a harebrained scheme.
And can I also just remind everyone, Trump inherited a pretty gosh darn good economy. Yeah. 15.5 million jobs created under President Biden, 4 major economic bills, 800,000 manufacturing jobs. The implementation of those economic bills was playing out and still is to an extent, even though Trump has caused so much chaos. The fact that he inherited this good economy and now he's trying to say, just trust me, it's going to be a little difficult for a while, but like, I'm going to get it sorted out. Things were not so bad except for inflation. That's one of the main reasons why we lost.
Yeah, Adrian, Republicans can be made to pay the price for all of this chaos, right? And when these tariffs get bad and people start spending $400 extra, there is a world in which Democrats are able to make Republicans pay at the ballot box for this. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump doesn't have any more elections to run, so he don't care. Yeah. But how do Democrats do?
As far as we know.
He's saying, I was just joking. Yeah. But how do Democrats do that? You are a strategist, comms maven. How do Democrats actually make this worth their while on the electorally?
I'm really glad you mentioned that. First of all, we've had some electoral successes in some of the special elections that have taken place. Of course, Pennsylvania, the state Senate race there, the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. We're seeing some of these bellwethers, special elections that are showing that Americans are frustrated. They're not happy with Trump. So that's one category. However, Democrats have to also have simultaneously a forward-looking vision.
I mean, the chaos and alternative.
Exactly. The chaos is writing itself. We're seeing it every day. People are worried. And we have not even seen, let's remind ourselves, we have not even seen the fruition of these tariffs enacted yet. We're probably going to see that in the next 2 to 3 months as these prices really take hold here. But you've got to create and talk about, as Democrats, a forward-looking vision. And I got to tell you, I mean, I don't know what the Democratic Party's economic vision is right now. I think they will get there. But we as Democrats, both on Capitol Hill, governors throughout the states, have to do a better job of really talking about what our plan is for the economy. And I think as we get closer to the midterm elections, you will see that. But it can't just be something we're running against Trump's economic policies. We're running against Trump's divisiveness and chaos and raising prices. We actually have to put forward our vision, and I think that's something Democrats really need to focus on and work on over the next 16 months.
Well, and there are so many interesting races to watch. Just in Georgia, I think we have the tweet we can show where Marjorie Taylor Greene notified the public that she is declining to run for the Senate.
On the edge of my seat.
And Governor Brian Kemp, who's hugely popular, he is not running for the Senate also. So what do you foresee in Georgia? Is that good for Jon Ossoff and Democrats?
It's definitely good for Jon Ossoff and Democrats. I mean, obviously, let's remember that Biden won Georgia in 2020. We lost Georgia in 2024, but we certainly consider that state to be a swing state, a state that Democrats certainly have ripe opportunities for picking up the suburban communities, the exurb communities, suburban women, people who are going to be heavily impacted by these price hikes that Trump is enacting. It's a real opportunity for Democrats, and it certainly, looks good for Jon Ossoff at this point in the campaign.
To zoom out a little bit, candidate quality, right? The reason that Marjorie Taylor Greene jumped out, one of them is it feels like someone maybe been whispering in her ear, right? Like, ma'am, you're not going to help us here. But we're seeing that happen in a couple of these other races, right? Where Republicans are looking at who they have to run and are getting a little nervous. At least that's who the ones that are talking to me are getting a little nervous, because they've seen when you put someone who's a little too far right, someone who maybe isn't really from the area, Dr. Oz, then you lose there and you have an issue. So talk a little bit about how Republicans should be thinking about candidate quality and actually doing something a little bit different than they have in the past.
I mean, you look at somebody like Governor Kemp. This guy is sort of cut from central casting. This is somebody that the Republican Party knows plays well with the suburban swing voter that it takes to win in places like Georgia. The fact that he is not stepping up and is saying, this is not the time to go right now, tells you just the kind of struggles that they're having internally. Now, they're going to have a battle to fight, I think, still with their voters. Because this party is hook, line, and sinker behind Trumpism, and sort of the entertainment politics that he has built inside the Republican Party, and that's gonna take some time to unwind, I think.
Meanwhile, Adrian, another Democratic senator who isn't having a good time of it is Senator John Fetterman, Pennsylvania. NBC News has this really concerning story. In the past year, from April 2024 to this March, Fetterman missed 77 of 381 votes, according to GovTrack. That put him in the 90th to 99th percentile among all senators in terms of total votes missed during each 3-month stretch of the calendar in that time. I mean, this comes on the heels of a devastating profile of him in New York Magazine by my former Washington Post colleague, Ben Terris, that did not put the senator in a good light. How concerned should Democrats be that, Senator Fetterman, is he up for the job?
Yeah. First of all, Jonathan, as you know, Democrats, our margins in the Senate are not great. I mean, it certainly could have been far worse. We narrowly won a couple of races in some of the states that Harris lost, like Michigan, Wisconsin, which is good. So it got our margins up to 47. But the bottom line is, this is where self-sacrifice comes into play. We cannot afford to lose another vote in the Senate. And if that means that you have, a challenging family situation that takes you away from voting, or if it means that you have, an illness or whatever it is, this is where I think folks really need to take a step back, self-reflect, and think, how can I actually make sure that Democrats have the representation we need? So much is on the line. We're dealing with Trump, who is becoming more and more authoritarian by the day. We cannot afford to lose the folks that we have in the Senate who actually do have some power.
But does it come at the expense of his ability to do the job? Because looking at these stories all told and talking to the staffers who work with him, they have concerns that he can't even do the job, even if he's there just in case. He's not voting a lot.
Look, I think when you are a former staffer who was around him very closely and saw a lot of things and into a lot of things that, frankly, we're not seeing publicly, and you chose to take some action, I think we have to really take those concerns seriously. I obviously love Senator Fetterman, as do many people, but we also have to take the concerns of people who have been around him more than we have very seriously.
And it's another chance for the Democrats, after all the criticisms they faced with President Biden, to really build some trust again with the American people and to be honest about what so many of us are seeing, I think.
And early on, at the end of the day. Adrian Elrod and Heath Mayo, thank you so much for being on the show.